everybody, and welcome back to another episode of From BA to Broadway. You know who it is. It's me. It's Brennan, and I'm bringing you your general programming reminders. Folks, every Monday we're here with the main episodes, and every Friday we are here with our mini-series In the Spotlight. And would you look at that? Today is indeed Friday, so I, of course, am not alone. I am absolutely 100% joined by our good old, dear old pal, Mr. Daniel J. Solly. Older than ever, actually.
Rude.
Is it wrong?
No.
Aren't we all older than ever? At the given moment?
From our first breath, we are dying. One breath closer.
I can't breathe hard enough.
I love that you don't pre-record those.
What?
I need everyone to know every intro that he does is like on the spot live.
That's true.
Like I love that you just don't have a pre-recorded little snippet. That
I
you
mean,
put at
the song
beginning.
is what's pre-recorded, you know? This is...
And I also love the thought of like, I've been here. I'm an old hat by now.
Yeah.
I love like the people who like to just like show up to do a one-off episode.
Yeah.
And you sit down, you're like, okay, and then you do that.
And then I say that for
what are people's faces when you do that? Are they just like,
some of them are like, ooh, like that's exciting. Some of them just wait. And you know, it really depends on the day. But
I love it.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, I never know what I'm gonna say. It's always along the same line.
Surprising
but
to everyone.
Yeah. It's, you know, that's live theater for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's showbiz, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Danny, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are holding space, as it is the Christmas season, for Annie.
Annie. Oh, wow. I sure thought you were going to say Elf.
Did you?
I sure thought you were going to say Elf.
No, I went classic.
Yes, you should.
I told you. I said you're going to laugh really hard when I tell you what show we're doing.
I did. Annie. You know what?
Annie.
The sun better come out tomorrow.
There is something funny about Annie the musical objectively, I feel like.
Yeah.
Saying we're going to talk about it. But it actually has a very interesting Broadway history.
Hey, tell me about it.
Annie, Little Orphan Annie. We love Annie. Oh. We've all been in a crappy community theater production of Annie.
I have not.
You have not?
No.
You never got your day in the sun as Rooster?
Day in the sun? Is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah.
No, I was called in for one of the tour. I was called in for the tour for Rooster, and
the one that's like going to MSG?
Is it still happening right now? I thought it was done.
With Whoopi Goldberg. Actually, it might be done already, but like
I feel like Whoopi Goldberg's not hopping on a tour. I feel like it's probably a one-off of some sort.
No, so that tour, they're doing like a December in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, my God.
And Whoopi Goldberg. You don't know this?
No.
And Whoopi Goldberg herself is joining just for the Madison Square Garden run as Miss Hannigan.
As Annie?
Yes, that too.
Incredible. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But also imagine I don't know who it is, the actress playing Miss Hannigan. And they're like, okay, exciting news, everyone. You know, we're doing a pit stop in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
By the way, you have a month layoff. We have Whoopi Goldberg coming in. I don't know if that's like, you know, would I be honored or just like insanely upset?
I would be honored.
I'd be like, look, put me in a rag. Let me be in the ensemble, please.
Yeah.
But I digress. We jumped the gun.
Indeed.
I'm surprised you never did Annie.
I have never done Annie.
I did. I got to do a little Rooster run in high school.
We love that.
Annie is a musical with music by Charles Strauss, lyrics by Martin Charnin, book by Thomas Meehan. It is based off of the 1924 comic strip Little Orphan Annie by Harold Gray, which is in turn inspired from the poem Little Orphant Annie by James Whitcomb Riley. And yes, there is a T at the end of Little Orphant Annie because there is a misprint in the printing press.
Whoa.
And that is why in history, his famous poem that spawned, like, you know, the Annie, the ACU.
The ACU
is Little Orphant Annie.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
What an orphan.
But there is an ACU.
Yeah, there is.
It goes so deep.
That's crazy.
So in 1972, Meehan was approached to write the book of a musical about Little Orphan Annie, based on the comics, based on Little Orphan Annie, the poem. He read all of the comic strips and didn't think there was like anything satisfactory enough to write a whole musical about, except he really loved the characters of Annie, Oliver Warbucks, and Sandy. So he took those 3 characters and wrote a completely original story. He was a New Yorker, experiencing the downbeat mood of the Nixon era and the Vietnam War. And so he decided to set the musical during the Great Depression because that was kind of a similar emotional era.
Yeah.
Should I do a synopsis? I don't even write one.
Yeah.
Annie follows our redheaded, curly-haired queen Annie, living in an orphanage with Miss Hannigan, the mean, drunk matron?
Sure.
Orphanage owner? What are they called?
Orphan keeper. The orphan. The orphaner.
She walks around with a butterfly net.
Yeah.
It's our rags to riches. She gets adopted by billionaire Oliver Warbucks, tries to get kidnapped by Miss Hannigan's twink brother Rooster and his girlfriend Lily St. Regis. It all ends up happy in the end, and orphans can become billionaires if they're cute enough.
And that's the moral of the story.
It is the moral of the story. And it gave us, probably some of the most iconic theater songs of the canon. We have Tomorrow, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And
Maybe, Easy Street, Little Girls. It's like every song from the show,
Yeah.
Annie first premiered on August 10th, 1976 at Goodspeed Opera House, directed by Michael Price.
That's crazy.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Well,
good for the Goodspeed.
I know. Goodspeed is like... I actually didn't realize that they'd been around for that long either.
Yeah.
So an actress named Kristen Vigard was the original Annie in this production, but they decided that she was too sweet to play the part, and so they bumped up ensemble member Andrea McArdle to play the role, and Kristen became her alternate.
Too sweet.
Mm-hmm. Annie's like a street kid. She's an orphan.
I mean, yeah.
She's like, she is sweet, but she's got like a,
She's got a dark side.
She's got... But also like imagine...
She's got bloodlust.
Imagine... spending the rest of your life being like, I was the original Annie.
Yeah.
That bitch.
That's crazy. That's so unfortunate.
But also, actress Maggie Task originated the part of Miss Hannigan, but they thought that she was playing the part too mean. And so after the Goodspeed run, they brought in comedic legend Dorothy Loudon to play Miss Hannigan.
Well.
So both were replaced, which happens. It's kind of just like...
Of course.
And during rehearsals, she improv the lines, "Do I hear happiness in here?" and "Why any kid would want to be an orphan, I'll never know." Which is crazy. Those are like very recognizable lines that are in any script you get today of Annie. So then to find out just, we're labbing. Like the original actress just improv during rehearsal and it's become like, written in stone.
For sure.
And then they opened on Broadway at the Alvin Theater in April of 1977. Andrea McArdle as Annie, Reed Shelton as Daddy Warbucks, and Dorothy Loudon as Miss Hannigan. They won all the awards: Best Musical, Best Score, Best Book, Best Actress for Loudon. And the music, this was really interesting too. The musical was evicted from the Alvin Theater in September 1981. Evicted to make room for the incoming Merrily We Roll Along.
Whoa.
Later that month, they moved into the Anta, which is now the August Wilson. And then a month later, they moved into the Eugene O'Neill. And then finally, they moved into the Uris, which is now the Gershwin, in December.
Jeez.
And they just got lucky because My Fair Lady closed early, so they were able to get into the, the Uris, now the Gershwin. And then the show ran there for the rest of its days and closed in 1983.
Damn. That's crazy.
I know. I feel like I was reading that and I was like, I have never heard of another show.
That's just like a lot of jumping around.
Theater
I feel
hopping.
Yeah.
And I guess, it was so successful. It probably was just selling out every performance. And they're like, it's worth the headache of moving theaters to keep it open.
Yeah.
But I feel like you would never hear about that today.
No, God, no.
Like, I don't know. I feel like producers would just cut their loss and be like,
maybe one hop, but that's it.
Yeah, I guess it happened with Beetlejuice.
Yeah, but
right?
There was still
because like the fans.
There was a long period of time between that though. It felt like, granted, there was a pandemic, but like
it was a global pandemic.
Also, like even after that, like I don't know.
Was there? I guess like a full year and a half. What is it? I don't know.
Well, because what was after that? Music Man was coming in, right? Was that immediately after?
Yeah, so they got bumped for Music Man, and then they went to a different theater.
Yeah, it was the Marriott Marquis, but that didn't happen right away.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there was a gap in time. Anywho.
We'll do a Beetlejuice episode.
Yeah.
We will. I've never seen it.
Next Halloween.
Replacements in that original cast included Sarah Jessica Parker as Annie. You know who that is?
I've heard of her.
I know you're not a Sex and the City girly.
I've heard of her for sure.
And replacement for Miss Hannigan was June Havoc, which is the June from the musical Gypsy. Like the character June that the musical is written about. Like
That's
the real life
crazy.
actress June Havoc played Miss Hannigan.
Wow.
Which is nuts. And then, so Annie happened, closed 1983. In 1997, we mounted a 20th anniversary revival. And this one was also steeped in controversy, which was kind of fun. Annie loves a controversy. They keep doing this to their actresses. So it was starring Nell Carter as Miss Hannigan. Young actress Joanna Pacini was hired after winning a publicized contest to play Annie to make her Broadway debut. And then
The search for Annie.
Literally. And then 2 weeks before they were going to open and she was going to make her debut, they fired her. And they hired a different young actress, Brittany Kissinger.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? And so it became this huge controversy and public opinion was on the side of Joanna.
Yeah.
Like, you did this whole thing and then fired this girl. So I think the production didn't have a great press from the start.
Did they say why they fired her?
No, not really.
Damn.
I think she was sick. I think she got like bronchitis or something.
How dare she?
And they were kind of like, don't come back.
That's terrible.
And there was also controversy because Nell Carter is black. She's a black actress. And in all of the promotional ads and previews they were doing it with previous Annie casts of all white Miss Hannigans. She was like, I feel like you're like erasing me as a person.
Yeah.
And you're just like pretending that you have this all white cast. I'm like a black woman making history playing Miss Hannigan on Broadway. And they were like, well, it's cheaper to just use these old ads, so we're not going to reshoot them. So I think there was many layers of probably producers
so
being dumb about this revival. So it closed within a year. But an unknown Sutton Foster was the star to be in this production.
Whoa.
Yes. And she has this hilarious story where I think this wasn't her Broadway debut, but I think her Broadway debut might have been Grease or something. But this was like her second Broadway show. Like she was like absolutely nobody. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I showed up to the audition. She was like, I was broke, just like a poor auditioning person wearing a homemade dress and wooden clogs because that's all I could afford at the time.
What?
She was like,
what?
She was like, I didn't have a headshot and resume, and I sang the song Oklahoma.
Wooden clogs?
Yes. And so she was like, I showed up. They were annoyed at me from the start because I looked like an idiot, and I was singing the title song Oklahoma from Oklahoma. But she's so fucking good that like she's like, I sang the song, and they begrudgingly were like, okay, fine. Come back tomorrow for a callback. Wear normal clothes and have a headshot and resume.
Wear normal clothes. That's crazy.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And I had a professor in college who was in this revival with Sutton Foster. And she was like, even back then, what was like early 20s, playing the star to be, which is like a featured role at best, But she was like, Sutton does, like, it was never, even at the age of 23, willing to like compromise her instrument to like do the thing. You know what I mean? Like every day before the show, she would sing the start to be part, like NYC, and she was like, if it hurt or if it felt strange, she called out of the show, no matter what, no questions asked.
No way.
And I think that that's like a great story of like,
wow,
that's why she's still doing this 25 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, we all knew something was going to be a star.
Yeah.
She was just like that girl.
Nice.
And so that was kind of a forgotten revival because it came and went. And then we have our second Broadway revival, which opened at the Palace Theater in October of 2012, directed by James Lapine. Lilla Crawford played Annie. Katie Fitteran played Miss Hannigan, and Anthony Warlow played Daddy Warbucks. Our replacement Miss Hannigans were Jane Lynch and Faith Prince.
Wow.
That's so perfect. Like Jane Lynch. I wish she got to wear her like tracksuit. And
because that would be very appropriate.
And was that at the time of Glee or was that after?
What year did you say?
2012.
Oh, Glee was happening.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I love that. In the middle of Glee, she's like, let me just be on.
Either that or it was like right after.
And Sadie Sink was an Annie replacement.
I did know that.
You're a Stranger Things guy, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I love her. I think she's great.
Yeah, Glee was in full swing.
Good for her.
Yeah.
And she's pretty good.
For sure.
I like Jane Lynch.
Yeah.
Controversial, I'll say it. I like Jane Lynch.
Me too. I mean, I think a lot of the things that she does is like Jane Lynch, you know, but like they always put her in appropriate places for the most part.
Yeah. And I feel like she had a period before she made it big where she was like you can see her playing like guest parts on random TV shows in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like she was like a receptionist on Friends. And I think she was also a receptionist on Gilmore Girls. And it's like funny because you're like, this is Jane Lynch.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I guess 1999. So it's probably right before you blew up.
Heard.
And that production lasted for 2 years and then closed in 2014. Also, I didn't know this at all, but in 1980, Thomas Meehan published a full novelization of his script for the musical. He restored a lot of material that was cut from the original storyline and developed the Annie story into his original concept of what he considered to be a 20th century female American version of Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist.
Wow.
I
mean, yeah, I guess I see that.
I feel like I have to read that now.
Oliver Twist?
No, Annie.
Oh, understood.
Like the book, he like took all of his drafts and like there were songs that he cut and songs that he turned into just prose and just made a full-length novel based off of the story.
Interesting.
You don't seem floored by that.
I'm not.
You're like, this is common knowledge. I have it on my bookshelf behind you.
It's not, but I don't know. You know...
What?
You know when there's a show that you just hate and there's really no good reason?
Is that the show?
That's the show.
You hate Annie?
I don't enjoy Annie.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You don't have any kind of nostalgia for Annie?
No. I don't.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I saw a bunch of community theater productions and high school productions when I was younger, and like maybe then I was like, oh, okay, interesting, a play, fun, okay. And then later in life, I never like went back to it and was like, oh, you know what? This is like a foundation of musical theater. I'm gonna appreciate for that reason. I'm always like, eh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Annie is such a like a nostalgia show for me.
And that makes a whole lot of sense.
Like we're about to talk about the film versions. Mm-hmm. I wore those out. Like just would watch it on repeat. The 1982 film. It's I mean, I guess you don't have an opinion, but those who like Annie have hardcore opinions on which Annie movie you grew up with.
Oh, I'm sure.
I grew up with the 1982 film starring Albert Finney, Kel Burnett, Anne Ranking, Tim Curry, Bernadette Peters, Bernadette, Aileen Quinn playing Annie. That was an iconic movie. It was so... I mean, Carol Burnett and Tim Curry and Bernadette doing Easy Street is... I mean...
Of course.
It's why I'm here today. Like, I don't know where I would be if I haven't watched that dance sequence like over and over and over ad nauseum.
Wow.
And I remember, like, it's like every theater kid remembers where they were when they found out that was Bernadette Peters. Where it's like, oh my God, the curly-haired blonde lady that I grew up with is now the goddess of musical theater that I'm obsessed with and gay for. And you don't have any of those life experiences.
I don't. I really don't.
I feel so bad for you.
Oh my God, I'm so upset.
You should be,
I feel
honestly.
So left out.
And we then have the 1999 Disney film starring Victor Garber, Kathy Bates, Audra McDonald, Alan Cumming, Kristen Chenoweth, and Alicia Morton as Annie. One thing that Annie movies are going to do is cast absolutely iconic casts.
You have to.
Like, that is like, both of these casts are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like, insane. I think the Disney version actually adhered much more closely to the stage version. And Andrea McArdle was in that one, actually. She's the star to be.
NYC, baby.
She was the original Annie.
Yes, I do recall.
After they fired the OG Annie. Similar to...
I hope she's okay.
Block.
I hope she's okay.
I hope they have like a group text. Of
her
like,
and Stephanie J. Block?
Her, Stephanie J. Block, OG Millie Pre-Sutton.
I'm sure that's exactly what they have.
You know, like being on the precipice of creating some of the most iconic roles in the theater canon and then getting fired right before you're allowed to do so.
Oh, so dumb.
No hate to any of these people.
Of course.
Yeah, and then there's that 2014 version of the movie, but
yeah, no, I never saw it.
No, I never saw it.
No, I did give Annie another chance back in a couple of years ago when they did Annie Live. I was like, huh, you know what?
Oh, I actually didn't even watch it.
Meh.
Was it good?
Meh.
That was another one thing Annie's gonna do.
Yeah.
Iconic cast. Wasn't that Megan Hilty?
Megan Hilty. She stepped in last minute too.
Did she? Who's it supposed to be?
We're
gonna find out.
I think it was. Oh wait, no. It either was Jane Krakowski and she dropped and Megan came in, or it was supposed to be Megan and she dropped and Jane Krakowski came in.
Oh, I think it was. Megan did it, so
Okay.
I think it was probably supposed to be Jane Krakowski.
And
she would have
Titus
been an insane. Jane Krakowski would have been wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
Megan Holt is wonderful.
Oh my god, yeah.
But that's crazy.
Mhm.
And I know Mackenzie Kurtz must start to be.
I don't remember, to be honest with you, but yeah, I believe you.
No, I'm saying she was.
No,
I'm not
yeah.
asking your opinion.
Oh,
on
okay.
that. I don't remember the rest. Who was Miss Hannigan? Was it someone famous?
We got yeah.
You're like, no, complete unknown. Oh my god, Taraji P. Henson.
Yeah.
Was she good?
Yeah.
I love her. And Harry Connick Jr. Oh. Yikes. MAGA Sunset Lady. Yikes.
Yeah.
But Titus, Megan. Oh, this is a good cast. Should we watch it?
No.
And you didn't like. Have you seen the other two movie versions?
I saw the first one.
The 1982.
Yes. I did not see. Yes, correct.
And you didn't love it.
No.
What doesn't speak to you about it?
I mean, I was a kid when I watched it, and I don't know. I wasn't here for it enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I think maybe we just need to like watch it.
I will do that for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an iconic thing, you know?
It's just like a...
I don't want to yuck anyone's yum because I know that I am the one with the controversial opinion. I am in the minority.
You can
here.
yuck the yum. Yuck the yum.
I kind of already yucked.
Yuck the yum.
I
feel like...
I yucked to the extent that I needed to.
Yeah. I feel like it's just like one of those shows that's just like in the zeitgeist of a million tours, a million... Like, I mean, I think it says somewhere on here that Annie is performed all across the U.S. 9,000 times a year.
That's crazy.
Like, it's just every middle school you know.
9,000? That doesn't seem right.
Maybe they meant 9,000 productions.
Okay.
Something
like
insane.
It's been performed 9,000 times.
You know, it's. I mean,
9,000 times a year?
Just 9,000, no more, no less.
Whoa.
But I mean, I think it's getting kind of bumped off now, but it was on all of the like longest running, Broadway musical lists. It really is the Annie Cinematic Universe. It has 2 sequel musicals.
What?
Yes. I mean, both of them are flops, but can you imagine a show that has 2?
Annie, Too Fast, Too Furious.
No, it's called, the first one is called Annie 2, Miss Hannigan's Revenge.
Oh my god.
It opened
my god.
It opened in DC in 1989 to like disaster.
That's
it was like
so funny.
Complete flop.
And Annie 3, The Return of
And
Jafar.
then, in 1993, they were like, let's abandon Miss Hannigan's Revenge. I really want to know what it was. They're like, let's try a different kind of sequel. So they did one called Annie Warbucks, which was, well, this one was developed at good speed with the direction of Michael Price, who did the original. And it had like a decent off-Broadway run, actually, but it kind of
wild
disappeared into the oblivion.
I think I'm going to say we need more sequels to musicals, but I'm saying it for all the wrong reasons.
What's the wrong reason?
I just think that would be a funny meme, I don't think they would be good. I don't think we need to do that for anything.
Just,
but
can't.
No.
I just don't think there's a way to feasibly do it. Especially, like, the show, like, has to be able to stand on its own. Like, you can't bank on people seeing 2 Broadway shows. I think, in lieu of a sequel, just make, like, an 8-hour Broadway show and split into 2 parts.
Heard.
Like The Inheritance or, like, Cursed Child used to be. What? Was that shady? That wasn't even meant to be shady. That's, like, the truth.
I love it when you say cursed.
Oh.
Ugh.
I'll never not.
I know.
I can't believe you say cursed.
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 Yeah.
Cursed.
I've been cursed.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
I understand that you say that.
I'm gonna take a poll and
Okay.
see who says what. I'm way more in favor of that than of like a sequel musical.
Mhm.
But like, I don't know. Wicked 2, Elphaba's Revenge.
Whoa.
You know,
I mean, there's a whole book series from
she
what I
comes in
understand.
swinging,
Wow.
pushes Glinda off the bubble,
No.
holding space.
Holding space. Holding space for Wicked 2. Oh my god. I mean, do you have anything else to say about Annie and its history?
I feel like that was a pretty, obvious. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Follow your rules. I will not talk about any West End productions of Annie, but it has been.
I don't
performed there
even
as
know
well.
how this bit came to be.
It's performed there as well.
I'm sure it has been.
It's like all over the world.
Yeah.
And
It's Annie, our redheaded orphan friend.
I know. I literally saw the revival in 2012.
Oh, wow.
Because we, as a family, we're like, obviously,
Yeah.
we have to go see the Annie revival. What other musical would we see?
Duh.
And I just can't believe you hate Annie.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of due.
For another one?
Yeah.
No.
I know it's your worst nightmare.
No.
13 years out?
Ugh.
Like,
They have a tour.
I know the tour, but that could be,
Mhm.
sometimes those tours come to New York as a test.
They got to change it up if they do a revival.
In what way?
Annie's going to be 16. She's been in that orphanage for 16 years and
She's over it.
And she's jaded.
She is over it. She is done. She's sitting on her iPad humming Tomorrow instead of singing it.
Yep. She gets adopted.
She's like-
she takes over the company.
She's like Tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it.
Let's say it.
She turns out to be the healthcare assassin.
Oh my god.
They're like, no, you've got the wrong guy.
No, she doesn't turn out to be the healthcare assassin. The healthcare assassin assassinates Daddy Warbucks.
Yeah, and it's her.
And it's not her. But then she gets to take over the company.
I think we have something here.
I agree. Now I'm on board.
See, now you can get on board.
Miss Hannigan's Revenge. She's the assassin. I don't know. We'll workshop.
We're labbing. We're
Yeah,
labbing.
yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
anyone has ideas, let us know.
Mhm. It will be starring Luigi, though. This
After
is
he
such
gets
a
acquitted.
weird. This is such a weird gray place of like.
I know.
I don't know if we're supposed to be like this feels a little too soon, but also it's just
Too soon.
it's just like
Have you seen the gaze the
No,
second his face got leaked?
literally. It's like this is such a weird blip of morality where I'm like, do
Mhm.
people really need to be murdered? But also
Yeah.
evil people. I
Do
don't
you think
know.
Luigi is like sitting in his jail cell singing "No Good Deed" right now?
No. Did he get to see it? I wonder.
He did. He did. Actually, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna preface this by saying I don't know what is real and what is fake, but I did see a tweet that
Oh my
someone
God.
found his what's the app? The
Spotify?
no, like the where you log your movies. What's that app?
Oh,
Like, I literally have it.
I know what I know what you're talking about. It's a
Letterboxd.
okay.
Someone found his Letterboxd and like he had seen Wicked, and they were like, at least he saw Wicked before this happened.
That's-
I don't know if it might have been like a joke, but I laughed out loud at that.
I hope it's not a joke.
I hope he got to see Wicked.
Yeah.
You know,
He
he is Elphaba.
do we think he knows? Do we think anyone's told him yet that he's a gay icon?
I don't know actually.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he has access to his phone.
That's exactly right.
I don't. Well,
I don't know.
he has to at this point either like phone call to a parent or a lawyer. He
Yeah.
has some kind of access to that. I'm assuming. I don't
Mhm.
know. Imagine if you
We got to
did a
find
crime like that. Not saying that you, Brennan, never did. I don't know.
who's to say.
Where were you the day that Luigi was supposedly murdering someone?
That's a great question. I don't even know if I know.
Get your alibi out. And you were like, "Oh, I killed someone. I'm probably, my life's over. I'm going to jail." And then
Mhm.
you find out that you are like the people's assassin. And like you have like,
We got to get him in Assassins.
God.
We got to do an update.
We can't. Sondheim died.
Shit.
Imagine that shitty Patrick if someone tried to like write in a Sondheim score. No, I can't allow that. We can write him his own musical.
It'll be the sequel, Assassins 2.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be clouded by the other assassins.
You're
he can
right,
be
you're
like
right.
the leading man front and center.
This is crazy. This is so out of pocket.
I mean, what other way do you conclude an episode on Annie?
That's a great
on
point.
Little Orphan Annie than talking about the United Healthcare assassin. I also love, I mean, he is an assassin, I guess. But I love that we've coined the term assassin for him.
Yeah.
We weren't like, oh, the murderer, the guy who killed this. We're like the assassin. Something about that term like really tickles me.
Oh, for sure.
Like the assassin.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible.
I don't believe it though. We're missing something.
I don't know, but
Something's gonna. I've watched too many Criminal Minds episodes. There's a shoe's gonna drop.
yeah.
Mark my words, everyone. And then when it does, everyone will come back to this episode and be like, he was right. As I sip my Diet Cola.
Mm-hmm. Are we putting songs from this in our book?
No.
Okay.
Sure. I see a world in which, I mean, no, it's Annie. I see a world where, like, if you're hysterical and you go in with a really funny rendition of Little Girls, like, you know, who's to say no?
Cool.
Or, you know, sing tomorrow. See what happens.
Yeah.
Let me know. Fuck around. Put it in your book. Let me know.
Yeah, let us know. Write us with
I don't
your
know you.
success
I'm not
stories.
invested in your career. Let me know.
Exactly. Yeah. Got anything else?
No, I think I feel pretty satisfied.
Amazing.
How do you feel?
I feel
So happy that this episode is over.
I feel fine.
Come on.
Listen, it was bound to happen eventually. I'm cognizant of that, and I'm happy we're getting it
Come
out of
on.
the way.
It has such a place in theater history. You can't not talk about Annie.
And I love that everyone else gets to celebrate
We have to
that.
know our history.
Of course,
Our
of course.
history of the Gershwin.
It's important to know where we came from. I will acknowledge that.
like Wicked's not the only thing in the Gershwin.
That's not true.
That
It's
is
the
true.
only thing.
It's true.
They built that for that show.
OG Sweeney Todd, OG Annie,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wicked.
We still need to do a Sweeney Todd episode.
Have we not?
No.
Oh my god.
Huh?
All right, that'll come. We still have to do our Wicked movie episode.
Yeah. We'll do that. In the next
Should we do
couple
it
days.
right now?
We don't have time for that.
Okay.
We could.
Not a
I just want to make some dinner real quick.
I gotta make my vegetables.
Okay.
We should leave this in. The behind the scenes planning of how we film our episode.
Oh my god. Folks, as always, if there's a certain show you want to hear us talk about, you can let us know by finding us over on Patreon. That is patreon.com/BA to Broadway. All our principal tier subscribers get to choose the shows that we talk about. As always, you can find us on most social media platforms at BA to Broadway. You can find me at Brennan Stefanik.
And you can find me at DSauls.
And until next week, folks, bye.
I thought you were gonna like sing tomorrow.
From BA to Broadway is created, produced, and edited by Brennan Stefanik, music by Dylan Kaufman, and cover art by Jordan Vongsithi.